And we are live. Welcome, welcome. My name is Keith Hampton, and I am a very happy customer of a company called BitcoinTAF.com or BitcoinTrendandForecast.com. It is an amazing, amazing company. I've had so much success with this. I just bursting at the seams, and I really wanted to share this with you folks today that you could have the opportunity to really make a difference in your lives in regards to um, investing in the cryptocurrency space. That is just the place to be over the next 4 or 5 years. There's many an expert out there that is basically predicting that the cryptocurrency coins and applications are going to outpace almost every other investment in the marketplace. That's what's so amazing about this. So I would like for all of you, take a moment, go to BitcoinTAF.com and simply sign up for free and then take a look at all of the different tools and information that this company provides. They have almost everything for the cryptocurrency investor. Specifically, if you were just getting started and you want to know what's happening in the crypto space, where are we at and where we're going, so you can look at long-term predictions or long-term investments, I would highly recommend that you seriously look at these long-term Bitcoin reports and these Elliott Wave reports that are produced by a guy named Marius Landman. Marius is a very unique individual that owned his genius craft of utilizing algorithms all the way back in the early days of the oil and gas industry, where he was able to start predicting accidents, near misses, and major events in that space. And his algorithms became so accurate that the oil and gas industry today use that all over the world. Now, his algorithms are quite unique, and he's been able to utilize them to predict major events, predict stock market moves, and now he does this in the cryptocurrency space. And to give you an idea just how powerful this is, I'm going to share with you in a moment his past predictions and show you just how accurate it is. It goes back all the way back to 2016, which is 10 years. That's a phenomenal, phenomenal track record. Along with that, he also has a group of trainers and educators of the highest order that teaches you how to utilize proper indicators to invest and trade the cryptocurrencies, when to get in, when to get out. And there's so much here that are just amazing. We have this foundational self-paced course that you can get started with, and then graduate to the ultimate trade course, which I find was the best trading course in the world. And I have tried other courses in the past. I paid 2 or 3 times as much and got 1/3 the value out of them. This course is the best. Once you've completed this course, you become your own analyst. You can utilize this training for every market in the world, whether it's stocks, commodities, Forex, crypto, what have you. It is truly the best of the best. But along with that, they now offer an ultimate decentralized finance course as well. So as the cryptocurrency evolves, the next area of expertise that we need to focus on is the decentralized markets. And so there's something here for everybody. Along with that, they even have what called day trade masters, where you can actually copy trade a guy named Corey Gardner and Nico, who created the Ultimate Trade course on his longer term time frames. And I'll show you some of the values that that has when you put it all together. And lastly, Wendy, who developed the self-paced foundation course, Wendy Landman, produced this new tool called the HODL indicator, which really works excellent and in confluence with every other indicator that you're utilizing in the training and crypto space. So let me get started with the predictions of long-term forecasting of Bitcoin and the genius of Marius Landman. As I said earlier, his predictions go all the way back to 2016, and they have been on a macro level 100% correct for 10 years. The algorithms and the patterns have always played out. What has always been difficult is predicting the timelines for those patterns to play out, because that's the area that the big boys can manipulate the markets. They can stretch the algorithms and compress them So it makes it difficult to produce timelines on that. But if you look at the patterns and simply follow the patterns and use your patience, you will see the results. So back in 2021, he predicted the top, which is where you have here this number 13 mastery pattern, where Bitcoin got up to about 62,000. And then he predicted a very large drop over the next year, all the way down here to 2022 in November, where we hit the bottom, which we now is known as the knowledge pattern, which was predicted over a year and a half in advance. Then we started into the what we call today the start of the 16 gate Jerusalem cycle. And there's going to be 16 different gates already plays out. That's how far ahead these algorithms are. We're only showing you 4 gates that have happened so far. We've got another 12 gates to occur over the next 4 or 5 years. So that gives you an indication as to the value of this information. We jumped from the bottom into this Jaffa gate, and then from there we jumped into this quick Zion gate. And then we jumped into this dung gate, which was a very frustrating gate for a lot of us. It started in about February of 2024 and it went all the way through till December. So it was almost a year and it was a very frustrating time. And then suddenly we popped up here in October of 2026. But this gate has been very unusual. Again, every pattern changes, and that's why it's so important to get the information ahead of time so you know what's going to happen in the future. This pattern was very unusual. Marius predicted it was going to be a very unusual head and shoulders pattern, which you'll see it drawn out here on my chart. He also predicted there would be a falling knife 1 and a falling knife 2, which has just occurred and is now completing. Now we're heading into the next group of gates, and that's the key. What's going to happen next? This is the million-dollar question. If you don't have the reports, you don't know whether we're going to be going from here. Are we going to continue going down? Are we going to now recover a little bit and kind of bounce back into this zone? Or are we going to take off and go to the moon? Which pattern is correct? That's the million-dollar question. And without the analysis of Marius, you won't know. We do. As subscribers, we totally know what's going to happen over the next 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years. This is the beauty of getting that information. So that's why I wanted to show you that and why that is so invaluable and why you need to subscribe to those long-term reports. Along with that, he also produces reports on the altcoins as well, other than Bitcoin. And right at this point in time, if you were to subscribe to the long-term reports today, you would get the Elliott Wave altcoin reports for free. As long as you remain subscribed to the long-term reports, you would get these reports for free. So you're getting 2 for 1. And the beauty of that is it's a huge savings. On a 3-monthly subscription, you save $447. To me, that's a heck of a steal. So why not take advantage of that? Now, along with that, I'm going to show you the value of the crypto training and education that they do. We're going to show you the power of this tool called the HODLfire, and it's a very inexpensive tool. For only $31 a month, you will be amazed at how much more accurate you will be with your trading. And it works exceedingly well with the reports that are put out with the Day Trade Masters and the medium-term reports, which I'll scroll down, put out by Nico. Either one of those reports, one works on 4-hour candles and the other works on about 8-hour candles. And when you put that all together, along with the training from the Ultimate Trading course, you really get the tools that work for you. So I'm just going to show you briefly how these work. So now we're looking at a coin called Pump, and we're going to show you how the HODLfire works and then how it works with the other custom indicators from the Ultimate Trading course. So what we have here is a chart with 8-hour candles. And the problem is that, without any indicators, you don't know whether this market's going to go up, sideways, or down. But wouldn't it be nice if you had an indicator that would tell you that? And that's what you have with the HODLfire. And it works extremely well. I'm just going to turn it on here and show you how it works. Basically, what you're looking at is this tool tells you when you're at a top and when you're at bottoms. And then they also have buy and sell tags that you can utilize. It also has a 200 moving average that helps us as well in this market. As a general rule, I like to trade, if all possible, above the 200 moving average because my odds of success go up versus trading under the 200. But if you utilize this indicator onto its own, utilizing longer time frames, it works extremely well. So let me just show you how I utilize it. So in this case, we're at the front of this chart, and you notice that all of these bottom and top pivots are in black. Well, when you're at the front of the market, it will show up in blue. What that means, it's not 100% confirmed that's a pivot top. So we like to have confluence. So what I do is I'm looking for bottoms and I'm looking for confluence. So at that point in time, I have a bottom here. And that's a high probability that's a bottom, but no guarantees. But what I'm looking for is a buy tag. Once I see that, then I know my odds have been improved. So at that point, this is when I would be entering the trade at this buy tag. And I'm just going to color this in blue so you can see this nice and big. And then what I do is I immediately set a stop loss because I want to make sure that I protect my capital. So what I would do in this case is probably set my stop loss right down here towards the bottom of that zone. And in this case, what we're doing here is we're risking only about 7% of my total investment. Now, as this coin moves up and I'm seeing the market, improve, I would move that stop loss up to break even. And now at this point, I would have basically a risk-free trade happening. And as it continues on, I'm looking for a pivot top. At that point, that's when I would exit. And so I would exit about here, and that thus would turn my risk-free trade into a profitable trade where I would have locked in a minimum of 15%. And also, too, you notice that the 200 moving average is also a resistance line. So that would be another indicator that I would use to know maybe that's the best time to be getting out. Now, that just shows you how powerful that is, just using the HODL tool that only costs $31 a month that you could use to buy and sell in this marketplace or in crypto or in stocks, what have you. But I'm going to jump over now into where we utilize other indicators to show you just how much more valuable that the information we have here. So on this screen, we have new tools called the Detonator B and C, and we're going to be turning on now the HODL, and we're going to turn on the copy trade from Day Trade Masters. So what we've got here is we get a signal from Corey that he was going to be entering this trade right about here on this black line. It was about to break out. And ironically, there's my bottom pivot. And look, just beyond that is my buy tag. So I could have gotten in just a little bit earlier. I would have set my stop loss as he set it. In this case, I only risked 3.5%. And then I would have rode it all the way up to the top, exited about there, and locked in about 19%. So I would have taken with just utilizing the HODL tool, I only made 13%. Utilizing Corey's early signals, I was able to lock in 19%. So that gives you the difference. So the other indicator also helps me make these better decisions. So I'm just going to show you all the different confluence we have with these different indicators. Here, we got a pivot bottom. That's one positive. We also got a positive down here on this indicator, Detonator B. We got a green dot after this anchor dot right here. This is also another popular indicator. Here, we've got the red crossing over the blue and getting close to the zero line. So there's another positive indicator. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we get the buy tag, 5, all saying yes, buy. Now, ironically, when I got this top pivot and I got out, interesting enough, take a look. We have a red dot at the top of this oscillator telling us to get out, and we have this green sharply turning down. So we had 3 indicators telling us when to be getting out of this market. So the other important thing to notice is he only drew in support and resistance zones, TP1 was some resistance. You notice that it went up, pulled back, and then headed up again. And once we got to TP2 with strong resistance again, and it broke it and then broke down. Now, if you were an Elliott wave analysis, or you get training and education on, you would notice new patterns. For example, you would see an Elliott wave, five-way up in this case. So we would start here, we'd have leg 1, leg 2, leg 3, leg 4, and leg 5. Now we're in a downwards pattern, and I'm probably guessing here, we're probably in an ABC correction, where we're looking at something like this, and it's going to break down. So we're probably going to an ABC correction and may go all the way back down to this entry zone before this pattern plays out. So I know at this point in time, I want to be extremely cautious looking for these patterns. I would be looking for another green dot. I'd be looking for this to reverse. I'd be looking for a bottom pivot and a buy tag. So at this point, I've made my profit. I'm going to sit off on the sidelines and just watch this coin over the next 3-4 days to see how it plays out. But you can see just how powerful these tools are when you put them all together. That's why I love the training and education that we have here at BitcoinTAF.com. So if you'd like to be more successful in trading cryptocurrencies, then I highly recommend that you sign up for free, get an account, go through and look at all of the different training and education, and then you decide at your own pace what's right for you and when do you want to take it on. So that's how I would recommend that you do all of this. It has been very successful for me, and I hope that you see the value in it for yourself. So with that, thank you again for listening to me this afternoon, and hopefully we'll see you signed up and on the other side. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. Or no, it's have a good week. It's already Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.